Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of How to Watch a Movie as a Christian. I'm Riley.
I'm PJ.
And I bet.
How to watch Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night is I guess you could call it a short film because it's less than a feature, right?
Yeah.
But it's a Halloween special of some kind, right? Put out by Marvel, directed by Michael
Giacchino.
In
Amazing composer.
Yeah, in his directorial debut. He composed
Up. Batman.
Inside Out.
Star Trek.
No,
Rogue One.
Both. Rogue
Yeah.
One
Whoa.
and Star Trek.
This
He's
guy's
done a lot.
yeah.
So a
He's
lot
a
of
big
our
deal.
favorite scores actually, like the
one of
Batman.
my
So
all-time
good.
favorite score, soundtrack songs, whatever you want to call it, the Up goes. Oh my gosh. Oh, that song.
Okay, so obviously this dude's talented, and like the film itself is well executed.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so
It was really pretty.
Yeah, it
Lighting,
was.
awesome.
here's the thing, though.
Cool shots.
Werewolf by Night is a 48-minute creature feature type of movie, kind of in the vein of old throwback horrors from
paid a lot of homage to the 1930s, like Frankenstein and
Right.
all that stuff. Dracula.
old creature features, right? But also pretty modern. Like, I think in general, though, the way the movie is shot, edited, paced, everything is not that.
Yeah.
It pays homage to it on a surface level, right? So it has like film grain and it's black and white and stuff, other than some patches of color here and there. But the story is about Jack
Russell.
Terrier.
Yeah.
Jack Russell, and is that on purpose?
I don't know, man.
Werewolf. I mean,
Oh,
gosh,
he's a
I hope
dog.
not. He's a dog.
The phrase, I don't know, man, will probably be used for every single question you
Okay,
ask.
well, you heard it here. You're going to hear a lot of
I don't know, man.
today.
And what was her name?
Elsa Bloodstone.
Oh,
Elsa
I thought you
Bloodstone.
weren't going to know. Yeah,
I don't
Elsa.
know, man. So they become friends of sorts, co-laborers in a certain cause, as they enter into this hunting contest. The patriarch of hunting, whatever his name is, Mr. Bloodstone Man, sir, has died, and now his wife is engaging in a contest of all these monster hunters to go slay a monster
In order to get the bloodstone,
attain-
because it was supposed to be given to Elsa, but she walked away from her family and walked away from her inheritance.
Got it. Okay. Now, all things considered, this show is built. It's kind of billed as horror, except it's TV
labeled
14.
as such.
It's labeled horror.
It's a Halloween special. It kind of plays into that. But I think the main thing that we all found is that it just ain't.
It was not scary.
It was not scary.
And this is saying a lot coming from Ben.
It just didn't seem to penetrate our hearts. It didn't get us. It didn't do something. It didn't feel memorable, right?
It had zero effect on me as far as some emotional toll goes.
Yeah. So I think we want to ask how to watch movies as a Christian. A lot of people are talking about this movie, a lot of press and buzz about it,
Which
et
is,
cetera.
I think, primarily good.
Yeah,
People, it's been
primarily
well
good.
received.
People like it. But for us, we want to ask the question: why does this movie have no teeth? Why does this movie have no teeth? Meaning, why didn't it grab us?
Why didn't it grab us by the neck and tear out
Why
our
didn't
esophagus?
it growl us?
Yikes!
I don't
So
know,
cut
man.
that, cut that, cut
I
that.
don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, a movie that makes me feel something, it's not hard to do. I'm an emotional guy. The Pixar shorts, which are usually how long? 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Those make me feel something. So it's not a time thing. It just can't be. It was just emotionally detached. It was just kind of happened. Even the premise, I was explaining it to Hannah, and I was like, as I was explaining what it was about, they go into this maze and they're doing a hunt for the monsters, but it's like kind of a free for all. I was like, man, this sounds good. And then I was like, no, that's right. I didn't. It just was kind of like meh. I ended it. I shut my laptop, and I went on with my day.
But anyway, I think that goes to show, Ben, it doesn't stick with you because no matter how good a premise is or whatever, Monster Hunters in a maze with the ultimate hunt and all that, it sounds awesome. But if there's no good, solid character arc or development, no motivation behind your protagonist, it's like, what are you rooting for?
And really,
I don't know.
It was supposed to scare me, and it didn't. So it was just very flat. There was like no contrast. I wasn't even scared. I just wish I was scared.
Yeah, I think that the gimmick of it being kind of in an old movie style did not help it, because one thing that gimmicks do is they create a barrier of entry. They make you go, haha, what a cool like label on a face of a lunchbox. You know, it's like in front of you, but it's it's eclipsing something behind it or inside of it. And so the whole time you're aware. You know, there's like film burns and real stitches and film grain, and the black and white footage has this like yellow, reddish, pinkish hue in the shadows, which is like very old film, kind of feels very dated. And that whole time you're just constantly aware of that rather than being immersed into just a story. So that's part of it. But I think another thing is, I guess, the big twist, and we should do a spoiler warning. The big
Spoiler warning.
the big twist is that the main character, Jack Russell Terrier, is actually a monster himself. And so his motivation is to actually rescue the monster. And here's the problem with that. That happens, you know that as a viewer. You know that he's friends with Man-Thing.
Man-Thing.
Who looks like the brown creature with the beard from...
Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus.
It's like a mixture of Snuffleupagus and Swamp Thing.
And Swamp Thing, but also the brown guy with wings in Attack of the Clones. It's like...
Oh, yeah.
Who's got the cane?
Yeah.
I guess.
Deep.
Oh,
Deep cut.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This guy.
Wow.
The problem with that is that immediately, the first time we see the monster, we immediately are not threatened by him. So the movie has set itself up as something scary, but it has immediately made the scary thing go away. And then not only that, but Elsa Bloodstone, she's not in danger from the monster. In fact, none of the characters are really in danger from the monster except later. They're actually in danger of killing themselves or each other. And I don't know why.
I don't know, man. I don't. Okay, so let me ask you this then. What could they have done to make this scary? Like, what is scary then?
Okay, so what should have been scary is that the characters, as they are released into the maze, first of all, you need to show the maze.
Show the maze.
Get lost in the maze. You don't know what's going on in the maze. Whereas, as it is, it's just a bunch of courtyards.
Yeah. Take a cue from Harry Potter on that one.
Yeah,
They
Goblet
did-
of Fire.
They did that.
It looked like a bunch of backyards from like some old Israelite movie, you know.
It did kind of remind me of Squid Game, when they're walking around in their little staircases.
Yeah, staircases and stuff.
Yeah.
It was very closed in. It did not feel like a big garden.
Yeah. So show the maze, what's around the corner, we don't know. Show one or two of the guys getting eaten alive or swept, killed in a kind of gruesome but unknown fashion by the monster, and have your main characters
So
scared
you're saying
about it, right?
instill fear into these characters so we can vicariously live that fear with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had one jump scare, and that one made me go, ooh, when she comes around the corner, it's all, junk, That was the one thing. And other than that, there was not any surprise.
So the part that was the jump for me was when he backed up against the bush and the monster's hand went to go get him. And then he was like, buddy.
I know, you should have had that monster hand kill another character as well.
Yeah.
So that we'd be afraid when
need
that
to fear
monster
the
hand came. You need to fear the hand before you can release the tension by saying, oh, it's my buddy, the man thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why it didn't pierce the heart. It didn't have teeth because the genre that it is playing into, it didn't succeed at.
It didn't follow the rules in order to make a true horror film, I don't think.
Right.
It was like you said, it was leaning too hard on the trope of being like this old 1930s film with all those gimmicks that it forgot to actually scare us.
Yeah.
Spook us.
Yeah, it had everything a horror movie should have, just it wasn't scary. Which is kind of important to the genre.
But not only that, again, and maybe I missed it, but I found no real motivation in any of the characters. I didn't know why anyone was doing anything. None of it mattered. I didn't care who lived or died. I know Elsa and Jack. I don't know anybody else, which I guess it doesn't matter, but why was Elsa trying to get the Bloodstone? Why was Jack trying to save Man-Thing? Like, why is any of this happening? I don't know, and I just didn't care.
I think that's the part that I disagree with you on. Like, I actually understood it a bit more, the motivation, because it was like, why is he friends with Man-Thing? And then you learn, oh, he himself is a monster. So they're co-monsters. That's what I came to. Mm-hmm. And then Elsa Bloodstone, the reason why she partners with him to get rid of the Bloodstone is because she hates her dad. She hates monster hunting. That's wrong. That's bogus, right? So she's motivated through family issues, and he's motivated through because he's a monster and he
friendship.
Yeah, friendship. But I think one of the problems there is that it's basically a short film. It's 48 minutes long, but the way it's structured and the way it introduces its characters is as if it's a feature. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have enough time to give you the motivations of those characters. Whereas what happens in a short film, like a Pixar short, is they don't worry about that, right? Short films have to lean into the concept in order to get at your heartstrings rather than, motivation of characters. Because motivation of characters takes time. It takes several scenes and choices and predicaments in order to establish it. And this film just didn't have it, right? It was pretty good at setting up the premise.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe that is the question. What is the concept of this movie? Because I can watch a Pixar short and be like, oh, the concept is fear, or the concept is loss, or whatever. But this, I say, what's the concept here? What is this trying to tell me? Why does this have zero effect on my life?
Why did they make it?
Is it to spook us?
I mean, I think it's probably to introduce these characters into the MCU.
Because that would be horrific. That's scary.
I know. We've already talked about where we stand with the MCU. Why are we even watching this movie?
That was my first question. I didn't know that this was a Marvel movie, and then I clicked on it. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. I thought, what? This is a Marvel movie?
Go through it and it goes,
scratches go through it, and you're like, oh, spooky.
Wait,
Marvel. And then it ended, and I went, there was no Marvel.
Yeah, and if they do introduce these characters into the MCU, surely it can't be like this. I mean, he looks like Teen Wolf.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm obviously it is part of the MCU. Like we know this. But again, just as an average Disney Plus subscriber, I didn't know that, and I didn't care.
Can I say, I liked that he was in practical makeup and effects. I thought that was kind of cool.
Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
He looked like Teen Wolf.
He looked bad, but I liked it. I don't know. It did remind me of old school horror, and I liked that it was a lot of wire work and a lot of hands-on, choreography, because I like that kind of stuff. I love action movies, especially like martial arts stuff. So that stuff just gets me. I really like it. When it's practical, I can just appreciate it. I'm able to suspend my belief enough just because I love the art form of it all. Whereas Man-Thing, this giant CGI thing, swamp monster Snuffleupagus, and that took me out of the film more than Werewolf.
Just do one thing or the other.
Yeah.
CJ, not. Mm-hmm. Choose one.
Yeah, because you actually kind of could think of a Man-Thing costume that would actually look pretty good, actually.
He doesn't have to be
like a Jim Henson style big Man-Thing puppet thing.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool, actually.
And that would have leaned more into what I think they were going for with this like 30s, 40s Phil. I don't know. But then he was just this bad CGI monstrosity, and I thought, this kind of takes me out of it.
Did you guys at least like the fight scenes?
That entire scene where they're like in the weird giant bird cage and he kills all those people, I thought it was awesome. I thought that was super cool. I didn't care about what was happening, but I could appreciate the art of the choreography, and it looked amazing. Stylistically, it was cool.
Yeah,
The
you just
lights
have
and
to give it credit for the shots and the lighting. It did look good. I love all the silhouettes, all the practical lights that they used. Yeah, that little pop of color. It got pretty far in my rating because of that, but that's kind of where it stopped. It was fun to look at.
I had this thought when he goes for the bloodstone and gets knocked back. Right when that happened, I went, wait, so he didn't know that would happen to him? Mm-hmm. He didn't know that monsters are irritated by the bloodstone? Why would he go for it then?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he just let Elsa go for it, literally movie over? You know what I mean?
That was another point I wanted to make, was that, like, clearly he has no knowledge of what this bloodstone is capable of. So he's not there for that. Like, has no connection to him, which in my head I'm thinking, like, oh, if he's a monster, maybe he'd want to get rid of it. But he just has no idea that it even exists. What's the point of it?
Yeah, it ends up being a MacGuffin, which a MacGuffin is a plot device in the form of an item. So the One Ring being like the most famous MacGuffin ever. But it's actually a good MacGuffin because it exists for a reason.
The One Ring is a McMuffin.
It's a MacGuffin, meaning it's a thing that all the characters care about, but you, the audience, don't care about. You're like, okay, these characters are trying to go after the Arkenstone, I guess. Or they're trying to get the Tesseract or whatever. Okay. Whereas Infinity Stones, those are MacGuffins done right. Those are McMuffins. And you watch Infinity War and you go, yeah, let's get Horcruxes. Those are McMuffins. Because, yeah, it's an object that the characters care about, plot device, but you know why they care about it, and so you're rooting for them to get it.
Because you care about the characters who care about it.
True, but you also know what the object itself is for, what it does, why it was there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it was really
You're saying that
confusing.
this bloodstone, what is it? Why is it here?
Okay, one, it hurts monsters. It blows them away like 15 feet. It makes men who are werewolves turn into werewolves.
Yeah, it kills them and turns them into werewolves.
Which was sort of like the bloodstone will turn you into a werewolf in 5 minutes. Like you don't.
And why was it?
And that was like.
Why was it
okay.
so important that they turn him into a werewolf? If you know he's a monster, because clearly you do, just kill him.
Just kill him. Yeah, totally. It's a little bit of like
what's happening?
Yeah, that is true.
Why is her motivation what it is? I don't understand. Why does she care? Why is this entire monster hunting organization okay with killing a bunch of monster hunters for the sake of attaining the item that kills monsters? It's like, what is happening?
That's what I was saying is that when it immediately becomes not about finding the monster, but about battling each other, tension out. It makes no sense. Why would it be a battle royale if it's actually a contest to try and get the thing? And they're all on the same monster hunting organization. They shouldn't be trying to eliminate each other.
Yeah. And if you do want to do that, then just really fully lean into that. Lean into humans being the real monsters or whatever. Like, show something conniving about humans. Like, there's distrust there. There's malice there. Show that. But no. Prior to that, they were all chums.
Yeah, they're like the whole first scene is them hanging out.
And then like, I guess we're killing each other.
Yeah,
cool.
That's so true.
I don't know.
That's a
what's
good point.
going on.
And I'd be really annoyed if that's what they were trying to do. Humans are the real monsters. Because, like, duh. But also, I don't know.
Monsters are monsters.
Monsters are monsters.
Yeah,
and that monster can turn you to ash and throw you across a room pretty fast.
But he can't
It's
climb
kinda
over
scary.
a wall.
But no. Actually, in the Wikipedia description of what's his
Man thing.
it says he's really slow. So maybe that's why he's just
He
really...
ran out that thing. He was running.
Wait, when?
When
he runs out the hole towards the woods.
All right. I tried Marvel. This was my Thor Love and Thunder. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's...
Wow.
I just kind of like, all right, Marvel. I'm saying now on camera, onto the internet,
You're done.
you're done. And then I'll see you next time.
Okay,
And I'll be
this is
disappointed.
an important point, though. If you can't understand characters' motivations, they ain't good characters. That's the truth. And a lot of times when audiences go, I don't know, what you can do is if you dive deep into the motivation and the structure and the storytelling, you realize the reason why the audience reacted that way is because of these issues, right? They might not put him that way, and audiences might just go, "Oh, it was fun," or "I don't care," or whatever. But really, what's going on is these characters don't resonate. They don't connect with your heart. That's why it doesn't have teeth, right? Because you wouldn't do the same thing in their situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if this movie needed extra backstory, but it needed to make sense. The characters' choices, and through doing that, we would have connected better and been like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's awesome," or something. So, how are we watching Werewolf by Night? You're done.
Truly, completely indifferent, like middle of the road, cool stuff, not cool stuff. I had no effect on me.
Right.
Truly no effect.
And I felt like, by the time you're in your 30s and someone asks you, "How was your birthday?" That's how I felt.
I don't know,
And you
man.
go, "I don't know, man. It's just another day." That's how Werewolf by Night was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Werewolf by Night is your 36th birthday.
Well, there you go. That's how we're watching Werewolf by Night. This has been How to Watch a Movie as a Christian. We're Pacific Parable, and we will see you at church.
How?